Hi everyone, today with me I have Morgan Nelson, who is an absolute young gun that I actually met when I was in Hawaii. So funnily enough, it was I think 4:30 in the morning, Morgan, when we met on a transfer heading to the airport. Morgan was on his way to Maui in Hawaii, and I was on my way home, and we just sort of clicked and started connecting. And I just thought, you guys definitely need to hear his story because he has a really interesting, career journey to date. So I thought best way to kick it off is throw over to you, Morgan, and tell me a little bit more, about your career journey so far, where you've been, and also what you're up to now as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely not a morning person. And when I got on the bus that morning, I was like, I'm just head down. I'm going to curl up and have a little nap on this bus and the plane. And then I met you, and I was like, man, you're way too cool to like just ignore.
Well, thank you.
You woke me up that day. So my career path, that's a funny one. So I'm 24 years old. I'm 25 tomorrow, actually.
Oh, cool. Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thank you. So I'm 24 years old, and when I first came out of school, I didn't do the traditional. I went to year 12 purely just because I enjoyed school. It was fun, hanging around my friends every single day. We had parties on weekends. It was just the best life. So I went to year 12, graduated with a really not a good OP at all. And I was sort of told that, do you guys have OPs down in New South Wales? It's different, isn't it?
No, so we've got our ATAR down here.
Yeah, so it's like a number you finish with?
Yeah, like your HSC score. Yeah.
Yeah. So in Queensland, it's called an OP. And pretty much what they told us, if you get anywhere between at a 15 and 25, you're pretty much like, they're hopeful for you. They're like, if you get between there, you better get lucky or win the lottery or something, because pretty much like the old belief systems they used to put on us was, you need to go to university, you need to go to college, you need to get a really good degree to kind of be successful, right?
Yeah.
So I was really crap at school, and I think I finished with about a 20. So I was literally went through the first couple of years of my life thinking, like, oh, woe is me, like this sucks because I'm not going to have a good career choice and everything like that. So I left, just got a job, doing this random job, paid a little bit of money. I actually started my own landscaping business because I just thought, what really happened is my mate was going to Europe, and he said, mate, do you want to come to Europe with me? And I said, absolutely. I've got $2,000 in my bank. I booked a flight, my return flights, and that was it. Then we left in 3 months. And I was like, well, what am I going to spend there? So I had my normal job. I worked a few hours a day. And then I went and just started my own landscaping company, making cash, like probably not legal at all, but just making cash and doing what I had to do to sort of just make some money. And when I came back from Europe, had a big taste for traveling.
Yep.
And also like living life on my own terms.
Yeah.
And my mate offered to me a carpentry apprenticeship. So he said, mate, do you want to come be a carpenter? I'm like, that'd be cool. I've always loved playing around building sites and building stuff, and yeah, let's give it a go. And then I went to the job site, and we did like a 9-hour day on my first day. And he said to me, he's like, I'll let you go home early today because it's your first day. And I said, 9 hours is early. And I was just blown away. I was like, you guys seriously do this until you're like 60, 70 years old and call that a life? And I went through for a couple of years really thinking that that's the only way.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then I was regretting. I was like, I wish I was smarter at school so I could go to university and maybe get something. And because I was sort of like rebellious, I refused to believe like what I was told should be.
Yeah.
So I wanted to prove everybody wrong. So my goal was become a carpenter, start buying property, become a builder, get my builder's license, and develop properties. And man, then I'm gonna go and rub it in my teachers' faces. and the only crappy thing with that is it was just a long journey. Like I had the goal to really, like, if I could retire by about the age of 40 or 45, I was stoked.
Yeah.
Then 2 years into my apprenticeship, my friend just hooked me up with some epic health products, and I didn't really think too much of it at the time. And I was a pretty unhealthy person, just lacked in energy and everything. So I got on that, and kind of started seeing how he was making an extra income online, and how all these other people were making like 6 figures and 5 figures and 7 figures. And I was mind blown, because I just didn't, that was my first taste of like, you can make money online, like without physically working and trading time for money.
Yeah.
And then I kind of, like a couple of years went by to sort of start learning the skills, and then really dove into, actually made the choice to actually want to become a professional network marketer.
Yep.
Just the times are changing. A lot of things are going online, and I just found a way. What I actually found was fulfillment. I wasn't fulfilled building houses. I found a way that I could actually help people change their lives, help them make money, help them get healthy, and just really make an impact, and also create the lifestyle I want.
Yeah.
So I finished my apprenticeship, but about 3 or 4 months after finishing, I was earning more money with my part-time business now.
Yep.
And I took myself out of my full-time job as a carpenter, and I did what any 23-year-old would do with a nice residual income, and I booked a one-way ticket to LA. And that ended in about a year's travel. I did about 12 countries. I lived in Mexico, my dream place. And now me and my girlfriend live in Bali.
Awesome.
doing it together. So that brings me up to right now.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I love how you just sort of, you realized, what was important to you was the lifestyle, and it was about, not having to follow the status quo of what we're meant to do, and just sort of look outside the box of different ways. Like you said, you had the goal of going to Europe. So you're thinking, well, how can I, do this, rather than thinking that it was just not possible from the start. So I love that. And what did your friends and family think about all of this as it's going on, and, moving out of the building industry, which is, I'm sure a lot of them were quite proud of you finishing your apprenticeship. And then, what were their thoughts around everything?
Yeah, that was funny. Like my parents have always been supportive enough. Like they're not like going to bring me down or anything, but
yeah,
it was always funny, because network marketing is, when I came home and told my parents, I'm like, hey, I'm going to start doing this network marketing thing, they instantly thought of like all the old school companies, like old school network marketing in their day. And growing up, I remember mum doing Avon and all that stuff, right? And then I started to put it all together. I'm like, oh, it's all the same stuff. I'm like, mum, you guys used to do it as well. Why aren't you guys successful with it? Like, and then so they started telling me, well, it doesn't work. I'm like, what do you mean? And then the biggest thing that ever, how do I say it? The best quote I guess I've ever heard someone told me was, never take advice from someone you wouldn't trade positions with.
Okay.
And thankfully enough, I love my parents dearly, but you always just have to ask that question with anyone giving you advice. Would I genuinely trade positions with you? If the answer is no, then keep going and find the answer you want. So I definitely dealt with a lot of, just make sure you finish your apprenticeship, because that's your plan A and your plan B. You've always got something to fall back on. Yep. Like, well, why do I need something to fall back on if my plan A is so solid and I'm so certain that's going to work?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was always kind of that. It was kind of always like, okay, Morgan, yeah, well, have fun with this thing, but just make sure you finish your apprenticeship. That's there for life. And they kind of didn't understand. But the thing is, like, you can't blame them, because, like I said, old school, this industry 20 years ago was ugly. It was very ugly. There was a lot of crappy companies. There was a lot of dodgy things, claims, and like anyone who succeeded in it 20 years ago, I really take my hat off to them, because it wouldn't have been an easy kind of thing. Yeah. Now times are changing. It's a lot more competitive. Everything's a customer service based thing with business now. Like with Uber, you're rating personal behavior. Airbnb, you're rating personal people. It's people want to deal with more belly to belly customer thing. And even I think it was China, because they're like controlling and stuff, they're doing this thing
Yeah.
where you can actually rate humans. So everyone's starting to get like microchipped or something like that, right? And if you're working like say 7-Eleven and this person comes up and the customer is just an asshole, that clerk can rate the person's behavior. And then what happens is that person starts to get crappy Wi-Fi. They get late check-ins at the airport. They get all these things because of how they show up. So hopefully that never happens in our world, but it just gives you an idea of where business is going.
Yeah.
So business is just changing so fast with technology and people, just the everyday people being able to, I guess, kind of be the middleman, like with Uber and everything. It's like, it's giving everyone, it's competitive. That's what I'm saying. So it's, the cream is now rising to the top in every profession, which I love. So if you're not doing it right, you're not in business. So that's what I love a lot of how it's going now. So completely went on a tangent there, but
no, it's cool. Have you seen there's actually an episode in Black Mirror on Netflix. Have you seen that series?
I haven't. I don't have Netflix for the reason because I would get distracted all the time.
Totally. Yeah, it's a massive distraction. But there's one episode on there, and it just talks to the point you were just saying about how people are going to rate each other through this app or something. And it's kind of a weird, like, you know, bit of a, I guess, sci-fi forward thinking kind of series. But yeah, it's an insane concept, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the way it's going, which I like. I love because it's, you know, like in Australia, we don't tip our waiters and stuff. Therefore, we get really shit servers.
Yeah.
You go to the States, you tip them, but they go above and beyond to give you the best service because they want to get the best rating. So it really, like, people who are really hungry and really want to do well, it gives them the opportunity to really take the, I love it. I really do love it. People being paid now on production rather than time.
Agree. And
I like it.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
You're right. No, I just say I like it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I agree with you. The bar is just totally being raised all of the time. So it's kind of like if you're not keeping up or if you're not leveling up yourself as a person, you're just naturally left behind. It's not like you're doing less. It's just that you're not moving forward.
Exactly. And I did a course with Tony Robbins a little while ago, and he said, he's like, all the males in the audience, put your hand up if you're a good husband. And everyone's like, yeah, I'm a good husband. I'm a good husband. He's like, I feel sorry for you guys, because he's like, you guys think you're good. So the scale, what he talks about, he's like, you got good, then you got great, then you got excellence, then you got outstanding.
Yeah.
And he said the difference of being, he goes, I hate it when people come to me and say, I'm striving for excellence. I'm like, you poor mother. He's like, you poor motherfucker, I'm striving for excellence.
Yeah.
Because they think that's the pinnacle. And he says the shit thing about it, the difference in excellence and outstanding is a 2 millimeter rule, right? The difference in a gold medalist at the Olympic, a gold medalist is a hero. A silver medalist is just, oh, cool, you got silver medal. It could be the difference in 1 millisecond in a race, the difference in excellence and outstanding. So there's so many people striving for excellence. Be the person that strives to be outstanding in everything you do and separate yourself just that little bit extra. It's like, it's that 10% more than what everyone else does.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the difference.
I love that. What do you think, just for our generation with millennials, is the biggest challenge when it comes to either leveling up that extra 2% or even just figuring out, you know, their path and in their careers and their life, you know, in the first place?
Yeah, awesome. I honestly think distractions. I think distractions and not having clarity around what they really, really do want. There's so much fake shit on Instagram these days.
Yeah.
Everyone's becoming overnight millionaires with cryptocurrency and 99% automated affiliate marketing systems and all this shit.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff where, because I got lost for so long as well. Yeah. And like, I think the more on your journey, the more you really have to really check in with what, like, your values and what you really want. So I think what, like, my advice, really work out what your end result is. Forward pace at 10 years.
Yeah.
Do a 10-year vision. What is my ultimate vision? What do I really want? If I could have absolutely anything in the world, what's it look like? Go with your gut. Don't go with what you see on Instagram. Don't go with the Lamborghinis and private jets if that's not you.
Yeah.
There's so much hustlers out there that are painting this freaking lifestyle, and the influence of Instagram and everything like that, it's easy to go, well, shit, I want that, but do you really want it? So work out what your values are. Work out what your values are, and work out what your ultimate vision is, ultimate desire, ultimate dream, and marry them up together.
Yeah.
Because then if you're living your ultimate dream to your highest values, then that is full fulfillment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then work backwards. So, and another thing is, like, find your vehicle to help you get there, but then also be very open to new ways of helping you get there.
Yeah.
Within your values still.
Yeah.
Because I had, my end vision hasn't changed too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the only thing I've changed to my vision is I've added a lot of contribution. Like, I want to open up a foundation, like a non-profit. I want to be doing like a lot of things in that department, where before self-development came into my life, all I wanted was nice houses and cars and travel and friends. So the end vision hasn't changed much, but I'm not going to do that by becoming a builder anymore. Yeah. I'm doing it through network marketing. I'm doing it for a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So be open to how you're going to get there, and find the best way to really find it fulfilling in yourself, and that reaches your highest values. So yeah, I think the biggest challenge, that's the first question, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is honestly just not really knowing what you want.
Yeah.
Work out what you want, and just start working, but enjoy the process. Like, what's that saying about the pursuit of happiness? What is it? Don't be so focused on the pursuit of happiness that you forget about the happiness in the pursuit. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Oh, it's awesome. And I think it really does start with you. Like, everything starts with you, like what you want. I think we get bought into so many times other people's dreams, other people's wants and needs and desires, and it might not even feel authentic to who we are and what we want in our life. You know, someone, you know, might want to chase $1 million and have that as their target. Other people might just want a nice lifestyle where they have a few hours a day to spend with their family or their friends or their, you know, anyone else that's close to them as well. So it's just what you value. And I guess saying no to things is something that I've really realized over time as well is super important. We all want to say yes to everything in our lives, but having that really clear vision actually helps you to really keep on path and look at the distractions, like you were saying.
Yeah. I think it massively starts with really working out, like going forward 10 years, working out what you want. And then when you just kind of set it there, like, because then you can make the decision. Like, I used to be a yes man. I still very much a yes man. Yeah. But I also know my boundaries. So where I learned this boundary was, I had friends invite me to a festival in Sydney. They're like, let's go to this festival. It's going to be fun. Yeah. And I didn't like the music at all. And then I was nearly said yeah, because I was like, well, of course I say yes to everything. But then I was like, I wouldn't enjoy that at all. Like, I know I wouldn't. So I said no to that. And they're like, what the hell, you say yes to everything? I'm like, but I just know that's not serving me. And then I started to think, now when I come down to decisions, I just ask myself, is this going to bring me closer or further away from my end result? Yeah. 100%. I make a decision from there. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit more about, you know, I'm really curious, like life in Bali. It sounds amazing. You know, what you're doing now, living the lifestyle. Tell me a little bit more about, you know, because obviously I know you work super hard. That's some of the I guess misconceptions that people have, is that, you know, you see the nice photos on the beach and things, but, you know, I know you work extremely hard, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Can you tell me a little bit more about, you know, what a typical working day looks like for you? Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. I'm a very yellow personality, so I'm a very unorganized, unstructured, free living sort of person. So I'm actually looking at employing somebody to kind of like keep me on track a little bit more. But get some detail in there. Yeah. But Bali is amazing. Like if you've ever been to Bali, you'll probably know why I want to live there. It was the only country I've ever visited where when I left, it was the saddest country to ever leave. I'm like, I don't want to leave here. So it's incredible. But what I loved it because it's so peaceful, it's so zen. So like I can wake up and really like how my day usually starts about 6 o'clock, and the first 1 to 2 hours of the day is purely for me. It's blocked out for me and no one else. So that's where I do all my things, my gratitudes, my reading, I work out, and anything I kind of want to do. If I want to go to breakfast with my girlfriend, we do that. And then my phone comes on when I'm ready to actually. So my phone's off that whole time.
Perfect.
While on airplane mode.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so important to really protect your thoughts in all the time, but especially in the morning. Like your subconscious mind's so open to absorb shit first thing in the morning and right before you go to bed. So be really cautious of what goes in your head between, the first half an hour waking up and the last half an hour before going to bed.
Yeah.
So I consciously feed it with good stuff. That's going to make me feel incredible. And then I can tackle my day and be reactive to things, and I can react a lot better. But I honestly, like, I work hard, but I also work smart.
Yeah.
That's why I picked this industry. Like I like business, but I hate traditional businesses. I've got a lot of friends who run traditional businesses and the business runs them. Yeah. And so, like I said, like I've picked this industry because of my values and my end result. And my values, I love having a lot of freedom. So freedom to me is not working 70 hours a week on your business. Like that's a prison cell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that at all. So I've really got my work weeks down to about 20 or 30 hours max. Like and that is working hard. So I'm doing like 4 hours a day ish. And the idea is in those 4 hours just to be really, really productive. And then the other part of my day, I've designed my life really around this. So if I want to go for an afternoon surf, I love going for a sunset surf. That's my favorite thing. Then we have dinner together. Then we might just like hang out and do something else. And maybe I like to give myself like 1 or 2 hours spare to kind of work on other things. Like I'm always thinking, like I've always got other things happening they're going to come into my vision. And so, but in saying that, I was chatting to a friend yesterday. I do work hard, but I also work in a very balanced lifestyle. So the last 3 years, I've traveled on average 12 countries a year. And and last year I made 6 figures while traveling 12 countries and living in Mexico and gone Belize and all this stuff.
Yep.
And then I met with a business coach at the end of the year, and he said, answer this question for me. I could grow my business more and the first thing that came out was if I stopped traveling. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So despite being to 4 countries already this year, and going back to the States in a few weeks for the 3rd time this year, this is a non-travel year for me. So this year is mainly about if I can not travel so much and put everything into my business and work really hard this year, then next year when I do travel, it's going to be like a lot better. And so I work in chunks. So it's not much of like a day-to-day thing, but I work in like, let's commit and go all out for a 90-day period and crush this and then go disappear for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, cool.
And then know that business is still going to be pumping while I'm away. So
cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. Yeah. And how important has it been for you, I guess, building up your own personal brand? Is it something that you've done quite intentionally through the process, or is it just sort of, I guess, happened organically through your travels and sharing your story and that sort of thing? Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. A bit of both. Like I definitely got more vocal, like as I kind of started to go down more self-development. And the first thing was when I just got on these products and I just changed my health. I just started thinking differently. I was healthier. I was happier. Yeah. That was the thing. I wanted to be more vocal. So I started posting more on Facebook and I was just being real and honest. So I started when I was 21. So we were partying all the time. And especially when you start making extra money and you're traveling, your parties go even to another level. And I'm very authentic. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to not post, like, even though our company's a health and wellness company, I was like, well, I don't want to not post the fact that I'm drinking, because that's me still. I don't want to be fake.
Yeah.
And then as I started to learn more about it, I really started to really ask myself, like, well, what's my end result? What do I want? And is this going to bring me closer to it or further away? It was bringing me further away. So when it comes down to, I think being real with your branding, being authentic with your branding and authentic in person can be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But you choose what you want to brand yourself with. Like social media, things spread like that these days.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go out and get absolutely blind drunk on a boat party,
yeah.
I don't take my phone. I just go and enjoy my life, and that's what I want to do that day. That's awesome. But it's not posting pictures and branding myself as this party boy. That's the thing. It used to be branded as Morgan the party boy. Now it's, if you see my socials, it's totally different. So I think brand yourself intentionally. That's the thing. I used to post for the sake of it. Now I'll never post anything on Facebook or social media unless I have a strong intention behind it of who I want that to be put in front of. So the last thing I'll leave it on with branding is, if you're not building somewhat of a brand, start. Because man, Instagram, like, it's just absolutely incredible. I heard Gary Vee say on something a little while ago, he said in the next 3 to 5 years, Instagram influencers are going to be paid more than A-list celebrities. It's a marketing platform. So on my Instagram, I can put a message out from this box in my hand. I can build this marketing thing that people just love to jump on. And if I put a picture out, 12,500 people see it. And that's this big ass billboard I have in my pocket all the time. So you can really start using that to your advantage. So now it's kind of growing to the point where I'll be able to start getting like free accommodation and free things like that. I don't know what I want to do yet with my Instagram, but the thing is, I'm just building that purely around my lifestyle. I'm real and raw on that. And I show up on that, how I show up on that to attract the people who I want to meet in my life.
Awesome. And for those that, like, I guess don't have their own business, but are still, in careers, and they're still wanting to, I guess, have a personal brand around themselves, to help them get promotions and help them sort of level up in their careers and be, I guess, a thought leader in different industries. Are your views the same on those people as well? Or is it just for people that have a business?
Great question. What would I do? I honestly think I'm really passionate about helping people kind of live the freedom lifestyle. And sometimes I've got to remember that that's my values, and it's not for everybody. So what I am just super, super passionate about is seeing people live their life to their highest values. So if your highest values are being met by making your way up in a company, then do that. Like, your life depends on it, because that's amazing. If you're going to work every single day, actually loving your life, your values being met, then that's incredible. So crush it. And definitely, like, it's arguably in the next 10 years, it'll be so interesting to see what is around. So if you're not building a business, if you're working, like, look for something to make something online in your part-time.
Definitely.
So in saying that, I think building a personal brand is so important for everyone. There's just too much opportunity. Social media is just incredible. Like, everyone can make their own their own brand, their own niche, their own following. And what I recommend is be you and pick like 1 or 2 niches that you just genuinely love and just get passionate about it. So mine, if you see mine's is self-development and travel and health. Self-development, travel, health. And if my business didn't exist, I'd still post about that, because I love self-development, travel, and health.
Cool.
So I think it's super, super important to be building something.
Awesome. And you mentioned before, like, about going to Tony Robbins events and a few things. Like, how important is it to invest in your own development and invest in yourself, whether that be through coaches? You mentioned a business coach before, but also, you know, different seminars or courses or whatever it is. How's that played a part in your success?
Massively, massively played a part in my success.
Yeah.
I've probably invested like probably $30,000 to $40,000 now in the last probably 2 years.
Yeah.
But from that, it's made me a lot, and a lot ongoing as well. So self development is incredible. Choose the right coach, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the word life coach gets thrown around very easy these days. Um, like anything in life, if you want to try something, go and find someone who's had results in that area and pick their brain.
Yep.
Ask them questions. Success leaves clues. So
Yep.
self development is absolutely huge. And I think, so for me, I know nothing about investing. I'll eventually buy a house one day, maybe. I know nothing about it. But the only thing that makes sense to me is you want to invest in something that has a higher return on investment, right?
For sure.
For me, I really believe that like you can go and have bricks and mortar and cryptocurrency and shares, whatever you want to buy. You can have all that.
Yeah.
But the number one asset you'll always have is yourself. So I think the first thing that everyone should invest in and never stop investing in is in your health, in yourself.
Yeah.
In yourself. So in terms of education, self-growth, health is such a huge one. Like, you know, so sometimes people chase everything else and let their health deteriorate. Sometimes people chase all their health and let their incomes, relationships, and everything else deteriorate. So it's about having a very balanced, but just really investing back into yourself is super, super important, I think. But it's, and coaches, I didn't know that this was actually much of a debate, but apparently some people are like, well, why should I have a coach? Like, because it just makes sense to me. I'm like, if I want to get good at something, I find someone to make me good at it, right? It makes sense. Like, some people struggle with it, but you look at the best professional, anyone in the world, golf players, basketball players, any sport players, they've all got coaches.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone who is the best at what they do, they've got a coach. So yeah, I think it's so, so important. And I'm rereading The Big Leap at the moment. It's an amazing book.
Who's that by?
Have you ever read that one?
No, I haven't.
It's incredible. I think his name's Gary Hendricks.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out.
About self-sabotage.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And what he talks about is that we got 4 zones. We have zone of incompetence, zone of competence, zone of excellence, and zone of genius.
Yep.
And the zone of incompetence is a lot of people spend time there where they're really shit at doing something, but they keep pursuing and trying to do it instead of hiring someone to do it, or instead of getting someone to show them how to get better. So a lot of stuff I know I'm shit at it. I don't do it. I hire people to do it for me. If I want to learn something, I'm not going to try and learn myself. Well, I do that with a bit. Depends how serious I am at it. But say with like coaching and business, I've got a lot of different mentors. So it's easy. If you want any sort of shortcut to success, find someone who's already done it. Pick their brain.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've had plenty of different mentors and coaches in all different aspects of my career, but then also in my business side of things as well. You know, health coaches too. Like, I think if any area of your life is falling short, it's going to affect the other areas too. So yeah, I 100% same with you in terms of just always, it's an ongoing learning process. And you know, I'm naturally an impatient person, so I want to get there the fastest way possible. The fastest way possible,
exact same.
Leveraging off someone else's experience in that area. So makes sense. Yeah, totally. And I always ask this question to everyone I interview, but what do you think has been like the weirdest or even the worst job that you've ever had?
The worst job I ever had is hard. I always look for something to love in every moment. The worst job I ever had, I don't know, like I used to have a job, but I actually kind of liked it because I used to work with my friends, but we used to have to climb around in like oven ducts and like clean all the grease and stuff out.
Really?
Yeah, it was dirty as hell work, but it was fun because you'd go to work with your mates and you'd only work for maybe 2 hours and the day was done and you get to go surfing and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, the worst was probably my first 2 years of my apprenticeship was just
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Shitty people, shitty environments, 10-hour days, don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Um, shooting nails in my hand.
That's never a good time.
No, it's never good. Yeah, the first 2 years of my apprenticeship was crap.
Yeah.
So first full-time work, yeah,
Fair
pretty
enough.
crappy.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And with everything like you've done to date, if you could sort of rewind the clock and go back to yourself as, say, 16 years old, is there one piece of advice that you would give yourself, back then?
That's such a funny question because I do get asked that a lot.
Mm.
And because the first time I ever got asked that was when I was pretty young as a teenager. And
Yeah.
so I started to I talk to myself so much. So I often meditate and stuff. And I'm like, what would the 30-year-old Morgan say to me now? And and it's so crazy when you ask a question like that,
Yeah.
you get some unbelievable answers. You're like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I often did that. So I would probably say to 16-year-old Morgan is work hard, be focused, enjoy your life, and just make sure you have no regrets.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've pretty much done that. Like I've never sort of let anything get in the way of just really enjoying my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's funny, yeah, because I definitely have no regrets. It's that because that was always a thing. I'd always be like, when I was back in school, I'd be like, what would adult Morgan say to me in school now? And it would be like, finish school and have no regrets.
Yeah.
Have fun. Just have fun.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I love that. And for anyone that's interested, I guess, in following you or finding out a little bit more about your story and the work that you do, where's the best place that they can go to find you?
Yeah, I'm equally as big on Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook, just find me, Morgan Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should be able to find me on Facebook. And Instagram is Morgan T Nelson, Nelson. Yeah, you'll find my Facebook through there. But yeah, I take a while to reply on each platform. So
no worries. Well, things to do. Surfing in Bali.
Yes. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Well, Morgan, thanks so much for answering those questions today. I think it's really insightful to look at, perhaps a non-traditional career path than what we're typically taught at school and, even university, and know that there are different options out there for people. Like you said, if you're wanting to start a bit of a part-time side project and things that can actually lead to a full-time residual income, as you said. So it's been really awesome to have you here. Thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you
Thanks
so much,
Morgan. Awesome.